All right, everyone. I'm grabbing some of the cuts I made on a recent video, and I'm going to get them started in the vibratory tumbler. So I want to show you what I'm doing. So this is kind of a longer tutorial, so if you want to skip to the end and see the polished rocks, go ahead. Okay, so how these rocks look is going in is how they're gonna come out essentially in a vibratory tumbler. Does not change much of the shape of the rock, so I need to clean them up a bit. Like for example, this petrified wood. You see this lip on here. It's just really rough. All these indentions and cracks. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit on my Ameritool flat lap here. One has a lot of nasty grooves in there. They have to come out. Getting better. You could see that big groove still in there though. I'd like to get that out. Okay, I think I got a lot of the rough out of there. Still got a little bit of a dent in there, but I'm going to see what the first step does to it and decide if I want to do any more grinding to it, but boy, is that pretty. Okay, so this is kind of a mess. Got all these pits in here. They're gonna accumulate grit. And these edges. I really need to clean this up a bit. I don't really like the agate skin on here when it's going in the vibratory tumbler because it comes out just looking as rough as that. And all the grit kind of gets stuck in there, and there's a lip on there, yeah. This one needs a lot of work. Oh, that's looking so much better. Again, it's really rough, kind of agatized skin on here. It's not going to do well. Right, much better. Okay, so some of these agates that I'm putting in here, just cleaning up the edges. Cleaning up the edges. Overall, so much better. Look at that. Again, a little bit of a pour or pit there, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, that agate skin on there, no bueno. Gotta get that off. All right, so I don't have this full as much as I'd like, but it's good enough. I've got here a whole bunch of just my kind of slabbing, like leftover broken pieces that I save, and this is going to be like the rest that's going to fill this up, and so it can like really get into the grooves and really polish polish the rocks up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these in the strainer and just kind of then I'm going to throw them in a vibratory tumbler. So I'm putting my scraps in here, and I'm going to wet these as well. And then just fill up the rest of my tumbler. Okay, looks pretty full. And then I'm going to add some 80 grit. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons, so 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to add 3 drops of liquid detergent. 1, 2, I guess. 3, obviously not exact. Okay. Seriously, like a pinch, like, I don't know, like that much. That much. Pinch, like that much. Borax, that's all I use. Okay, so I've been tumbling them with the lid on. I just took it off to show you that this is the consistency that you want of your rocks. See how they're all kind of coated nicely, not too watery, not too thick. That's what you want, and you really want them moving nicely so they're really rubbing against each other. I've had this going for about 12 hours, maybe slightly more. I really haven't had to add water or anything to it, but it was a pretty strong grit. It was like an 80, so I'm ready to rinse these off and get them into like a 150 to 20 finer grit. So let's go wash them off. So to kind of jump start washing them off, I'm just gonna fill this all up with water and throw a little borax in there and maybe run it for like 10 minutes just to get them rinsed off. So I'm just getting them all rinsed off. Okay, so out of the first stage here, I've kind of rinsed these off, and I've got mineral oil on my hands, so they're gonna need another washing, but I wanted to show you how the imperfections show up still. So, for example, like I left this one big, which I'm wanting to cut this in smaller pieces, but I left it big so you could see in this first step here how you can see where the cracks show up. And some people are fine with cracks, but I don't really like the cracks. So you can see that crack really well, and grit will get into there. And you can see some pits in here that I'll need to get rid of. Okay, so again, you can see this guy it's nicely, you know, kind of grinded on the outside, but the grit that's stuck in there, even though I did some intense washing, the cracks and the pits kind of on the bottom, even though I tried to round it out. So I'm gonna get rid of those, and again, I'm gonna cut this up a little bit smaller so it works better in the vibratory tumbler. This shape right here is not gonna get, you see how those pits are really deep in there? It's almost like it didn't, even though it's just step one, it really didn't do anything to it. And it's likely because the shape is so off. So, gonna cut this up better. Okay, and if you don't get the agate skin off, you're kind of left with this pitted mess right here. So I'll need to cut that and get rid of that or grind it up some more. But I left that one kind of like that so you could see. I'll cut this one up a little bit. Okay guys, see this? Grits, you can see that big groove there where the grit is getting stuck. That is no good. I am not going to pass that along to the next phase because that is going to mess up my batch. Okay, and then this one that I like here with the green in there is, it's not doing well on this side here. You can see that's kind of crumbly, a little bit softer rock, so I'm going to see if I can cut that. I'm not sure if it's going to make it because you can see this crack and how much deeper that is. Now I'm ready to go. At my 3 tablespoons of 150 220 grit in there. Got 3 drops of liquid detergent and a pinch of borax, and here I go in this step for probably 24 hours. Okay, so I'm moving away from metal strainers now and going to my plastic strainer. I've got most of my pieces all trimmed down the way I like them, and I've kind of filled up anything or some extra, just some of my extra ceramic pieces I had laying around and little chips. So I'm going to get that going here in my tumbler. I rinsed them off real quick, but I just have them soaking in water, kind of a soapy mix, because if I just rinse them off really quick and I don't get all the grit from all the little areas, it's gonna turn to cement and I'm never gonna get it out. So I just need to soak them until I can pay them the attention they deserve. So I'm gonna add just 3 tablespoons of the 150 220 grit, a couple drops, like 3 drops of some dish detergent soap, and a pinch of some borax, and let that go for another 24 hours. Okay, 3 tablespoons of 500 grit on top of that. I just get these tablespoon measuring devices, like you can get like a gazillion of them on Amazon for pretty cheap. Because my family members get mad when I steal everything from the kitchen, and they end up in my quote mining division, garage mining division. So anyway, they are ready to go, and I've just, you know, they were strained in the sink. That's it with the water. You're gonna want to go crazy. You're gonna say, oh my God, they need more water, they're too dry. Water is not your friend at this point. You really want to get a good gray, creamy texture going, so you can always add water later. Harder to take it away. And then I've got that little pinch of borax and those 3 drops of liquid detergent, and it really helps with the lubrication and the sliding of the rocks, and the grit just doesn't seem to dry out as quick, and you'll see, you'll love it. But get that going, and then I'm probably going to do 500 for 2 days, and I will check. You're going to want to check, like you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to check it in 30 minutes. It's not going to be wet enough or gray enough or creamy enough. Don't do it. Wait a few hours. You'll see. And you'll get that perfect consistency, and easy peasy. Let's go. These have been going a nice 48 hours in this 500 grit. Look at that consistency. Nice and covered. Creamy gray. Let's wash them off. Just gonna run these in some soapy water for about, I don't know, just 10 minutes or so to kind of loosen up all that grit on there. All right, so rinsed them off a little bit beforehand, but I did accidentally drop these on the way up here, so hopefully I didn't get too many cracks and broken pieces, but we'll rinse them off a little bit more. You can already see some shine coming out with just the 500 grit. Oh yeah. Okay, so gonna rinse them off really well and see which ones will make the final cut. Okay, so as these dry a little bit, you can see. Yeah. Really? What? Okay, as these dry a little bit, you can see some of them have a little bit of scratch on here. I don't like that. So I'm going to see if I can clean that up a little bit before I put it in the final polish. Clean some of these scratches up. Right, so I'm just going to take this, and where I have my cracks that I don't like, just going to see if I can kind of grind them out a bit. Okay, who's kidding who? I have no time to clean these up any more than they are. They are going to go right to step 4, polishing, and we'll just see how they turn out. Way too busy with life this week, so gonna do the same thing I've been doing, just rinse them out in the strainer, add a couple tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of aluminum oxide powder, and a little sprinkle of some borax, and we're gonna get going. And I've got these going with 1200 grit on here, and going to have them tumbling for probably a good 4 or 5 days. I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get a head start on rinsing these off. Just pour a bunch of water in here. All right, that looks like it helped get these rinsed off a bit, so I can't wait. Let's completely rinse them off and have a look at them. See if we need to do any more steps. All right. Look at this. I can already see the shine. Do you want to see my rocks? You want to see the rocks? Do you want to see them all finished, the ones we collected? Okay, so let's look at a few of these a little closer. This is a nice yellow waterline agate. See the nice shine on there. Now, I didn't do the last stage today where I run these in some borax to kind of get some of that aluminum oxide out of the holes. So I just didn't have time, but I will. Oh, that one's beautiful. Let's see, I like this one too. Okay, I'm going to put some music on and kind of go through and show you a bunch of these up close, and leave me a comment and tell me what you think. like whether you're using a vibratory tumbler or a rotary tumbler. Hi guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I know it was pretty long, but I hope you liked the results from the vibratory tumbler, and I don't know. I'm gonna keep tumbling and keep making videos, so we'll see you next time. Rock on.